to get on
All
get
right,
it.
peace out. We'll be live now on definitely we're gonna have a show where we're gonna be building on building a future for building a better future for the now. Definitely I think this is very important that we all live in the now for a better future. This is the Art of Family Dynamics show. It'll be all about the family, try to build a family, build a community, and definitely build a nation. We got Brother Omar, Brother Cephas, that's going to be having a great talk along myself, just us. I'm going to allow the brothers to give an idea on who they are, to introduce themselves. We're going to start with you first, Brother Cephas.
Thank you very much, Justice. My name is Brother Cephas, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm trying to create a better option for my brothers and sisters that live in my region on how to live life other than illegal activities and becoming a better person than they was yesterday. That's my main goal, to introduce to them a new way of life. And so I have started my own YouTube channel, which is called God Talk with Cephas Black. That was my way of trying to help the community come together, and one of my ways to contributing to my brothers and sisters was to create a platform where we can come together and talk and maintain a civilized manner of order, things like that. Brother Omar, how you feel about that?
Brother Omar, what's your take on introduce yourself? We can't hear you, brother. I think you might out of your mute or what, but can't hear you, brother. You can hear him, Cephas?
Nope, I can't hear him.
Okay, because I can't hear him either. He got a whole lot of water back there, huh?
You need that during these times.
Yeah, he ain't got another water boat when it comes to being thirsty.
I need to come over his house.
Mm, shoot, that's a survival spot.
Right.
So as we waiting on him, if you want to, you probably can give um your thoughts on some approaches on being able to better the future. I'm not sure if he came back just now or not. If it's Mike, okay, I guess he's still working on it.
Okay. So yeah, my take on about bettering our future is trying to first we have to realize who we are within first of realize who we are ourselves. That's the first step into bettering our future, in my opinion, because if we don't know who we are within, then how can we ever shape the future for the next generation? So I would like to really strongly push the issue on our thought process on how we think, because what we think is it shows in our actions. You know, a man thoughts is what he think. So I'm trying to strengthen our ideal minds, other than being stuck on little things, basically.
So when you say screen that ideal mind, so what do you mean by that?
Now that you hear you.
Well, for example, my generation mindset, from what I see, is confusing. So, and I'm trying to bring in a better foundation and better moral standards and our way of thinking, how we carry ourselves.
You there, Omar?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, finally, you're using your voice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can hear you when you use your vocals. That's good.
Okay, super. Yes. Yeah, I definitely, think that, you know, especially dealing with the topic, living in the now.
You probably can have to either talk a little louder or come closer because it's kind of low.
What about now? Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah, it's better than it was before.
Okay. Your voice has to go into that. Oh, that's what it is.
Oh no, we don't hear nothing now. I'm not sure what you did, but couldn't hear nothing after that.
Yeah. So, what is your introduction intake on how can we better ourselves for the future? So probably wait on Brother Omar.
Yeah, definitely. My first thing is to ask, what is ourself? Because you got to have some type of pinpoint on what you're better in when you're saying better yourself. Like if anything need to be improved, you got to know what are you improving first. Um, and if you don't know what you're improving, it's going to be kind of difficult to improve it. So I'm not. Did you fix your thing on mine? Okay, I guess he's still working on it. So you have to ask again, what is ourself? What do what truly move us or gauge us through this physical world? And the closest thing that we could definitely come to is the subconscious. Whatever you put inside the subconscious is what pushes you to move forward and what manifests in your life. So yourself will be more closer to the subconscious than anything else because whatever you put inside that is what actually allow you to make things happen. Is your thing now, Ma?
I think so. Do you hear me?
Okay, yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
All right, super. Good. I'm listening.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yes, we do observe things with our five senses. And yes, we in the moment going to do things, of course, that pertains to survival and pertains to a better life. But we definitely got to protect our subconscious as well too, because that also influence how you feel, how you think, and what you're going to do. So the subconscious part to you would be your closest self or the essence of yourself that we fight for. That's the part that we call the soul. That's what we fight for to keep ourselves alive. Because that's what holds the memories as well too. That's something that if you lose that, you lose yourself. Of course you could regain another life because you're still gonna have the conscious mind to observe things, and then you could build a whole new subconscious, which is building a whole new soul all over again if you lose that. So that part is definitely it's the self that we have to work on and taking things as only beneficial to you, taking things that could move you forward in life, which move your family forward in life, move your community forward in life, and eventually move a nation forward in life. That's my take on that. There, you have something to say, Brother Omar?
Yes. Um, Yeah, I definitely think that it is important, for us, as individuals and as a family and as a community to live, be, think in the now. I believe that one of our most pressing problems is that our manipulators have us focused in the past. And by being focused in the past, we can't live in the present. Because what happens is that, in particular, dealing with us as indigenous ex-slaves, we our past is not it's not a good past to view so much, especially here in America. So what happens is that by us focusing there, we bring all of that pain that we experienced here in the America, and that pain shuts our thinking and acting ability down, because we are more in our they call it the third brain, and that is causing us not to be able to do our planning, because we are operating in the fear and fight mode. We're not thinking in terms of building. We are only thinking in terms of fear. Maybe they're going to do it to us again, or fight to keep them from doing it. But we're not in the mode of thinking, building right now where we are. Because if we as a people, if we as individuals, if we as families focus in the now, there is nothing we can't accomplish. We don't have no problems, because we are not buried in the graveyard of the past. I sit and I observe our brethren and our sisters on the YouTubes and the Twitters, etc., etc., etc. Very, very few of us, I mean, very minute, are focusing on building. We can't pull together because we don't trust one another. Why don't we trust one another? Because we are focusing on what happened in the past. Maybe some of our blinded brothers and sisters pulled the fast one on us. So we can't work together because we can't get out from back there. And that prevents us from working in the now, and because only by working in the now can we build a now and a future. But trust me, I can promise you that focusing in the past is our downfall right now. If we could just say, hey, look at here. Look, I know that someone did something bad, but maybe that was one person out of 1,000, one out of 1,000,000. So we're going to stop moving forward. We're going to stop building because someone did something in the past. Marriages can't get along because one of the spouses did something that caused the other spouse not to trust them. Our children don't trust the parents. Why? Because the society has told our children that whatever craziness that is going on in your brain, in your mind now, it's not your fault. It's your parents' fault. So therefore, we don't listen to our parents. We don't listen to our spouses. We don't listen to our aunts and uncles. We can't pull together. Hey, look, I can understand if you're having issues with other people, but you're talking about people that raised you. And that why can't those family members come together and pool together resources? People from other countries, they come here to America and they live families in a house, maybe 3 rooms. They'll put up a petition. This family is over here, this one is over there, and that one is over here. They don't worry about someone messing with their spouse because they're focused on building now. They understand that they're in a foreign land. They understand that. And they understand if they are to succeed here, they've got to work together in order to make that happen. But Black people, indigenous ex-slaves here in this country, we can't seem to come together because we don't trust one another. However the distrust got there, we've got to push forward and step beyond that. Now, how do one do that? How do you move forward and step beyond the distrust? By establishing contracts and making sure that all parties involved follow the contract. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying that I totally agree with that, and especially how I look at it as our mind being colonized to this way of thinking that we have to break the links of this chain that we are forcefully in. And in order to build for the future, we have to get uncomfortable just for a moment because we have to unlearn what we already learned to relearn to build for the future, because what we have learned shows us that it don't get us nowhere. Even down to today's culture and our generation, to the music, to the movies, and to even to our celebrities. They don't give a strong foundation on how to carry yourself with high standards and morals and things like that. So they throw it out the window. So they pushes these negative image on your music industry. So now in our subconscious mind, all we hear is disrespecting our women, degrading ourselves. So now we think in our subconscious that that is the cultural way norm to go by. So now in the same process of us relearning a new culture, we had destroyed ourselves because of materialistic things also.
So true. There's no doubt about it. See, and another, even talking about the materialistic things, how we view that. We are all, no matter where we are today, most of us came up in the church, and we were orientated in the church that money is the root of all evil. So what that did is that it gave us a distrust of even money. We have to understand that, hey, that look, the best way, I'm not going to say the only way, but the best way. As I go out in nature and I look at the rivers, you look at the oceans, those things are in motion. And as long as they are in motion, they throw all of the waste and the garbage to the shores. That way, the water purifies itself just through motion. And because we as a community are not actively in motion in the now, our waters become stagnated. And through that stagnation, we have an abomination of drugs. We have over abomination of killings, of robberies because we are stagnant as a community. So it's no wonder we see the bad things within our community because we are not actively in motion. Just getting in motion will solve 50% of our problems in the Black community. Just being in motion.
And being in motion, that involve being involved in politics, correct?
Being involved in politics, but being involved in politics intelligently. It's one thing to say, hey, go out and vote. We go out and vote, and we vote unsavory people in office. People who don't have our concern because we haven't intelligently vetted them.
From my understanding through life, I see that most of our people vote traditionally, other than getting all the facts that they need to make an educated decision on who is fit to run for office.
Yeah. See, the thing we have to realize about politics now, if the whole world watched President Trump and his administration, and one of the things that came out during the investigations of President Trump doing something unsavory with the Ukrainian people was, hey, they gave us a definition of politics. And what was that? You get something for something. Quid quo pro. We was acting like that was a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's politics. And if you don't think to get something for something, then you don't understand politics. You might well stay home and don't vote. Because you're not asking the politician for anything. We voted a president and a vice president into the presidency. And you know what they said about Black people? They said, we are not going to do anything just for Black people. And we voted those people in office. We ain't gonna, but they did something for the Hispanics. They did something for the Asians. But when it comes down to us, we're not going to just do anything for just Black people. And even now, President Biden is saying, well, I'm not going to do anything for Black people if the American Indians aren't involved. You already gave them their damn land. You already have them tax exempt. You gave them back land, and they have casinos set up on those properties, and they ain't paying no taxes on them. So why all of a sudden to do something for us, you got to include them? When all of the American Indian treaties outlined that the American Indian was supposed to treat the Black people just as they treated themselves on those properties. All of the treaties said that. But they didn't do it. And go right now to one of these American Indians where they got the land, they got the casino. Go there and tell them, hey, look, the treaty said you should do this here, and see what they do for you Black people.
When I did my research on that, they denied most of the Black people who tried to rejoin the tribe, especially the Cherokees.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that is just a reality. But hey, look, it's okay. I don't blame them for looking out for themselves. All I'm saying, hey, Black people, look out for yourself.
Right.
Unapologetically. And don't think that in order for you to do something for you or to get something for you, you have to include other people.
And I think what it is also, Black people are afraid to just do for themselves because they might put that self in a category as being a racist, but it's not racist at all for a person to look up for his own race. That's just survival 101.
It's something I always tell of experience that I had when I first started flying. In fact, it still happens today, and that is the flight attendants come up and they stand up in front of the plane and they tell all of the passengers, should there be some type of turbulence or mishap in this plane, that there would be some mass that will fall from the ceiling of the plane. And they tell all of the passengers, even if you have a toddler, put that mask on you first. Then once you put that mask on you, then proceed to help your toddler or to help somebody else. That's just good common sense. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. Black people, it's okay for you to take care of yourself and not worry about other people. We will deal with them when we even out this race.
Please, that's the culinary quick. I think it's okay to take care of your nation and then worry about other people, not yourself.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Repeat that, please.
I say I think it's good to take care of your family, community, and nation as a people, and then worry about other people. Because if you say take care of yourself, that can mean within the community as well too.
Oh, you mean in just being individualized, just talking about yourself?
Yeah, it definitely could be taken that way as well. If it's not actually um, being specifically spoken by saying as a nation.
Yeah, but let me share this if I may. There's nothing wrong with someone taking care of their self. There's nothing wrong with that. Because then our self spreads out to our family. There's nothing wrong with that. We've been given a bad definition of selfishness. You got to take care of you. But you have to realize that you are bigger than just you. You have an extended family. You have an extended community.
So, with Brother Omar, what you're trying to push is self-preservation should be number one. And what my brother Just Us is saying that when we talking about saving each other,
Yes,
we
number
talking about saving each other as a community, as a nation, as a whole.
yeah, but understand this here is that you are part of that community. You are a part of that nation. You can't take care of the community at your own expense. That is foolishness that we were taught in the church.
Can you say that? Can you repeat
You can
that
have
one
the
more
whole
time?
world, but just give me Jesus. I say that is the foolishness that was presented to us in the church culture. To think of something other than yourself. I do not agree with neglecting self for others. Include self and others. There's
Mm.
nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with you eating to feed yourself. And there is nothing wrong with feeding others. But if you take and give to others and don't feed you, you're gonna die. That's insanity too.
Right.
We have to establish a balance in our lives. Because that's what it's all about. If you don't have balance, you can't walk. You can't
Right.
stand. You can't stand without balance. So, so yes, you want to help people, but you want to make sure that you are in a position to help.
Yeah, I completely understand.
That's just intelligent.
So, what are some solutions on uh, helping us better ourselves for the future? Now, when I mean that, I mean in I know our people deal with a lot of depression and stuff like that. For example, what are some of the ways to combat that to better ourselves for the future, if that aligns in that same category?
Okay, let me let me suggest this. Remember, we are at least three quarters, pardon me, water, right?
Right.
Now, if water can be purified through motion, so can we. Now, if we are sitting around and we are not busy doing something, then we have time to sit down and think about how bad life is. We have time to sit down and think about how bad the community is. Hey, hey, how about going out getting a garbage bag and picking up the garbage in the community, sweeping the street, the sidewalk, for those places that have sidewalks. I can't imagine the town that I'm in don't have sidewalks. But how about doing that? We were taught in my days in the Nation of Islam that cleanliness is next to godliness. And we have to be in motion. And by being in motion, we will solve most of our issues. Solutions. We understand. Look, here's a reality that Black people have to look at. Is that look, man, we are at present the second largest minority group in this country. The second, only second to the Hispanics. So that means that we have 40 to 45 million people. What if everybody instead of saying, "Hey, look, I've got to have this $1 million job," go out and get whatever kind of decent job, what job that they can get to get things in motion in their life.
Right.
And then out of that, it is purported that we spend. It was something that Reverend Ike taught many years ago about the difference between spending and circulating. He said, when you spend money, it's gone. If you circulate it, it comes back to you. So we have to get out of the habit as Black people of, another word for spending is being a consumer.
Right.
Only. We have to elevate our thinking above just being a consumer. $1.245 trillion a year is suggested that is what we spend every year. What if we found a way to circulate that money instead of just spending it?
Yeah, we do need to do that
You understand?
because, yep, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, brother, please.
That was one of my Questions that I had for Brother Farrakhan for many years. If all them donations he get, and he have all that land that he say he has, why you not utilizing that for the people?
I don't like calling any individual out,
Hmm.
okay? Because if we call people out, they're no longer useful to us. Because people, instead of people finding a way to work with them, people will begin to hate them. You understand? So
Yes.
so to call Minister Farrakhan out or any other individual, because I believe that all of those people have something to offer. And we have to begin to look and find the usefulness that people have. And out of respect for Minister Farrakhan's followers, you know, I don't call him out because whereas if I may think that he has personal issues, I believe that his followers are innocent for the most part. So out of respect for them, I won't call out an individual. But what I will suggest, because it's like this. Remember, I was talking earlier about getting out of the past. I want to give every black leader a start from now, right now, in the present. And let them and suggest to them, hey, there may be a better way of doing it than what you did in the past. So we ain't gonna focus on that. But let us see if we can agree how to begin to work in the now, doing what is constructive for black people and moving forward. You know, because at the end of the day, you're only talking about one individual or two individuals or three individuals. I'm not concerned about them. I'm concerned about the 30 to 40 to 45 million of all of us.
Right.
And you know, and I'm positively sure that there is not one of us that have done all that we can do. You understand? So
Yes, sir.
so so let us focus on being the change that we want to see.
So how about this? For the next leader that's come up that got a great voice in the community, we should start holding our leaders more accountable.
Uh, what I would suggest is this: is that another misfortune concept that was given to us in the culture of the church. Now, specifically saying in the culture, okay, is that we were taught to look for a savior. My suggestion, black people, and it's the only way that we can go forward. You want a savior? Look in the mirror. Every last one of us, we are the savior. It's not no one individual, because that one individualism is what has caused us most of the problems that we have. One of the things that I appreciated about the Islamic way of life is that the person that stands out in front of the Muslim community and prays and leads the prayer is called an imam. Now, we line up behind that individual. But what happens is this: we, as individuals within that congregation, have to know what that imam know, so that if he make a mistake, the people in the congregation say subhanallah. That's alerting the imam that he has made a mistake in what he said. Now, if he can't correct that mistake, then he's to get down and let someone else go up there that can carry on. So we got to stop making individuals the God. Individuals ain't God. We were
So,
taught
hey, so, Brother Man, so Islam is not a faith based religion.
it is a way of life that is patterned after the natural order of creation.
Okay, so there's no belief, no faith.
I'm not saying it's impossible to be a human being and not have a belief. It's impossible to be a human being and not have faith. As we was talking earlier, just us, you were saying how
Wait, hold
you
on, no. Earlier got nothing to do with what you saying right now. Let's talk about what you saying right now.
yes.
So
Go
let's
ahead.
not move the goalposts. So the reason I'm asking about it because since you mentioned the Muslim faith as somebody can be called out, what if that's their belief that they're correct?
Because if I say subhanallah and you've said something that was correct, I have to show you what you said what was wrong.
Right, you show it, but their belief is they still correct.
Did you we're not talking about a belief on that. What I'm saying to you is that when that person makes a mistake, it is the obligation of the people that's standing behind him or in front of him to correct his wrong. Let him know, number one, first, you made a mistake, and then point out to him what that mistake is. That has nothing to do with faith. If you're saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and and say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, if you are saying that and say, instead of you saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you say Bismillah Omar, then I am to say to you, it's not Bismillah Omar, it's Bismillah. And then I can go to the text of the book and show you where what I'm saying is accurate. Ain't got nothing to do with faith. It's just a matter of fact. But there are things that do have to do with faith. So who am I to take a man's faith from him?
What y'all think about that statement there?
Say it again, brother.
Did you see the screen?
Really? Yes. Well, I do agree with that statement there. Uh, I do believe that religion and belief, period, because belief, the definition of belief and faith uh is something that you cannot prove. Something that you cannot prove, you have to believe it. So you don't have to show proof of your faith or belief. So uh and we was talking about the past a lot. I just want to bring this up, but I do like to merge the past with the present because the past will give us all the answers, well, not all, but most of the answers we need for the future. For example, like how I go about my studies. The reason why I study so deeply about the past is because I would like to learn the mistakes of my ancestors, what they made, and try to make sure that I won't run into the same mistakes that they did. For example, like how I'm right now I'm studying a little bit more about the Coptic Egyptians that work really close with the Greeks and things like that. So I'm learning the downfalls of our people. So in the future, I won't run into them same speed humps. But I think the past do resigns in the same way as the future do because we need guidelines to go about to see what we had messed up in the past. And then religion and all that was in the past, but the results of it, it separate our people so much deep, way deep down, especially in like when you start making your own religion, like the Israelites, and they don't want to be connected to Africans and stuff like that. So how can we bring our brothers and sisters together if our subconscious is still stuck on the past and we cannot break the chains of the indoctrinations on our minds?
Uh, what I would what I would humbly suggest is that if we are going to deal with the past as a scientist, go and study it in order to bring about something that will be more beneficial for society, that's one thing. But if I'm gonna do the past and say that, hey man, we were kings and we were queens, and that pacifies me to the point that I don't seek to be a king and a queen now, what good is it doing me? You understand? Because the thing is, we have to find a way to be useful, more useful for our society.
Let me say some real quick on my this about what you said with the king and queen. I definitely agree. And also, Brother Cephas, on the studying on the mistakes, why not also study the benefits? Because it kind of be it's like impossible to have a mistake but not have progress. There had to be some progress as well to in order for to be mistakes. So let's not just look at the mistakes, look at what did they use to progress themselves.
And to also deal with the part about religion and belief. Belief is a starting point. It is not an end. It's a start. It's hey, I look, I believe that this water is good. You better do some scientific studying to make sure that it's good. Because if it's not good, if you don't build on that belief, you might end up dead or horribly sick. So belief is okay, but it's a starting point. It is not the end. People are making belief the end. That's where the problem comes in at. Religion simply needs to be alive. It is not because if you go to all of the religious books, texts, they promote life and life in abundance.
But Brother Omar, I don't think religion means to be alive though.
Well,
I know that's how you probably felt in that moment, but that's not the meaning of religion.
well, let me say this to you, right? Is that we have to reach a point where we can give definition to words and not go by the definition that our captors gave us.
But that's the point. The captives give the religion.
Now, let's
So,
hear what
so
I'm saying to you. Hear what I'm saying to you. What's wrong with religion meaning alive?
because it is given to oppress. That's the purpose of it. Nothing that's alive and striving is oppressed in a stressful situation.
Well, the problem is this, right? Let me share this with you. The problem is this, is that we have been taught to believe in religion. And that's okay. That's the beginning. Remember, I said belief is the starting point. But we have to go and dig and investigate and come out with the jewels that are there. We have to realize this here. Hey, look, man, if you go to school to become a doctor, they have a whole different language than the language that we use every day in society. If you go to become a lawyer, they have a whole different language than the language that we use every day in society.
But,
If
but,
we if we go if we go to become an electrician,
but Brother Omar, the thing is though, getting a doctor degree, become an electrician, a mechanic, they are there not to oppress. They are there to help you to advance and be able to live in a monetary world. So it's not the exact same thing. Now, as someone give me a spiritual thought, see, being a mechanic, electrician, these are not just spiritual things. These are things you tangibly could do. But if someone give me a spiritual or a mental thought, that's they thought that will oppress me regardless because I may not want to think that way. So if you impress that on my subconscious, now I'm in your world. So you are oppressing me because you have to oppress that onto my subconscious.
then, then
Why
what
can't I just have my own thinking?
then what are you missing?
I'm missing freedom. I'm missing to free my mind. I'm
No,
missing to have my own thoughts.
you're missing knowledge
Well, how am I missing knowledge?
because no one can oppress you if you have knowledge.
Oh,
They
you
can't.
mean no, no, no. I see what you're saying.
Let me finish. They can't oppress you if you take the time to go and study the religion as opposed to having someone tell you about it.
But
You go and you say, hey, look at what number one is the original language of this book. And I'm going to go and I'm going to study the original language. So no one won't have to interpret to me. Because it is only through interpretation where ignorance come in at.
so
Oh, go ahead.
is a religion another man thought?
Everything is somebody's thought.
Okay, so the point I'm making, brother, is that even if I study on my own, another man thought is still being oppressed on my subconscious.
Now, go and do some research, brother. Go study. Go study. Don't just take what someone tell you.
So
Hold on. It is an obligation on you to protect what goes in here, just as much as it is an obligation on you to protect what goes in here. That job is yours. Don't be lazy and give that responsibility to somebody else.
You gonna say something, brother Cephas?
yeah, I want to say something. So what you saying, Brother Omar, knowing the origin of religion, and we're going to use Islam for example, because we're talking about Islam. Knowing the origin of Islam, how it was spread to our people, I'm going to use Morocco as an example. The Arab conquest went into Morocco and took their land and had slaves, all under the name of Allah. Now, since this, for example, I never was forcefully turned into a Muslim, so I just free willingly became Muslim. But wouldn't that still put me in the same category of indoctrination because I'm reading from the oppressor, from the invaders' way to God? The definition of religion is their way to God. Will I still be indoctrinated their way?
Well, let me share this with you. The mistake that a lot of, especially indigenous ex-slaves that become Muslims, is they don't take the time to really investigate, to study. See, the thing is that I don't care about Arabs. I care about Islam. I don't care about Jews. I care about the Torah. I don't care about Christians. I care about the scripture, the Injil, the New Testament. Now, I don't just stop there. I go now and I investigate. I pick that book up and I read it from front to back. Well, with Islam, from back to front. you know, you know, you know, and I get me an Arabic English dictionary. I go and I study the Arabic language, the Arabic alphabet. Okay, and then I go and I read that book for myself. I go and I look, and but when I first started studying the Islam, they said, "I'm gonna just give you a simple thing." They said that Allahu Akbar. That means, according to what we were told initially, that means that Allah is the greatest. God, creator, source, whatever you want to call it, is the greatest. But as I studied deeper into Islam and into Arabic, I saw that the people that translated that made a mistake.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You understand me? That it doesn't mean Allah is the greatest. Allahu Akbar means Allah is bigger. Allah is greater. Allah is more important. Why am I saying that? Because here in the Western world, we say great, greater, greatest. It's third person, right? There is no third in Islam. You got two. You got creation, you got Allah. So to say, so just the implication of Allah is the greatest has added a third factor. So now you got to get into language. Instead of the first, second, and third person, etc., etc. That's how you get to the simplicity and the purity of the language.
I think that maybe a question that probably may be for you, Omar.
Well, I don't want to get too deep because the purpose of this particular talk, I was just sharing this here to get us really away from that and get back to what we were talking about initially. But I will say this here. Jibril is only talking about inspiration. When you are inspired, that's the angel. Inspiration. Jibril is not a person. I look at something and I get an idea, a thought. I get inspired by something that I see. That's the angel. That's Jibril. That's why if you go to every religion got it in it. Because every people on this planet get inspired. That's why I say you got to get away from, hey, belief is not, yeah, belief is good, but it's a starting point. You got to go and you got to dig for the jewels, for the diamonds. You got to dig for the gold.
So, Brother Omar, what you're saying here is when you read in the religious text is to basically get what you know that is righteous and push away which is not righteous, basically.
Well, I don't really use those terminologies too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, righteous and it's just, hey, it's just right. It's just right thinking. right acting. you
Right.
know, because if I mystify it, I can trick you.
Right.
I'm not about tricking nobody. I'm saying, hey, look, man, look, here's the reality, black people. You gotta eat, you gotta drink. Doesn't it make sense to produce your own food? Doesn't it make sense to clean your own water? Doesn't it make sense, black people, to get rid of your own waste? How you gonna fight the white man and he don't waste anything? He don't even waste, pardon my expression, shit. He find a use for that. That's why I'm saying, hey, let's get into the sciences. Get into the books. I know everybody want to be a basketball player. Everybody want to be a rapper. But hey, do the math. There's only so many positions open there.
Right.
So just to say real quick on Brother Cyphers was asking. So it's not a thing that you take was good and thought was bad. Is that what is being said? You got to know what it's talking about. That's what's more than anything. So it's not like, let's say you have 10 words, and you take 4 that is good and then throw 6 that is bad. You take the whole 10 and truly understand what it's talking about.
Another way to look at it, right, is get away from good and bad. How about something that is useful? Hey, is there a use for that we call bad? Is there a use for that which we call good? Hey, it's bad to go out and kill somebody, right? That's what we've been taught. But we find people going around the world with armies killing people.
That's a good one.
It's thinking in terms of usefulness. There will come a time when somebody has to be killed.
So once it,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
so once again, it's always going back into your subconscious on how you perceive things, how you look at things. Other than looking at it as a bad thing, look at how you can utilize that and turn it into a good thing if it is a bad thing.
Well, I'll just get rid of the language altogether.
Right.
You know, I mean, that was a oh boy. I try to stay away from religion. Uh, in the Bible, we talk about it is talked about this entity called Satan going to Adam and Eve and introducing them to a knowledge of good and evil. God told them to stay away from that. But Satan was slick. He said, listen, Adam, I know God says that if you partake, if you eat from this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that you will surely die. But God didn't mean that if you did it, you're going to die tomorrow. You're going to be around it for a long time. As a matter of fact, Adam and Eve, you will become as the God. Farad Muhammad called that in the Nation of Islam tricknology.
Right, right.
So I mean, we have to realize that life is simple. This life is not difficult. It's difficult when we confuse ourselves with language. We say, hey, killing is bad. How many people die in tornadoes? How many people die in storms? How many people die in hurricanes? Don't you kill when you eat?
Right.
Oh, I know, man. I'm a vegetarian. You don't think that when you pull that vegetable up, you're not killing?
So, in other ways too, to help us better ourselves for the future, we also have to take in mind that everything that we go through is perceived through our mind. So we have to be careful of how we look at things, how we react to things, so our future can be a little brighter. That makes a little sense.
Yeah, and just observe. Be observers. That's
Right.
what quantum physics say. Be the observer. And then, after being the observer, you understand that, hey, look, that my observing has an effect on that I am observing.